By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And also welcome to the first round of the Lord of the Jank. Now this tournament is something different. This is all about budget old school magic. Now the idea of this tournament is simple. Build a deck with a total value of $200 or less out of the 93-94 card pool, and of course you can use reprint cards. Now it is important to note that Fallen Empires is not in this challenge, so you cannot brew with any Fallen Empire cards. Now if you want to know more about the specifics, you can check the description below, and there you will find more information about the rules of this unique tournament. Now in this round one, you're going to see me battle with my zombie disco deck, and I'm taking on Elmar with this Erhnam Djinn combination. Now before we go to the games, I'm quickly going to do a deck check on both of these decks. Now if you want to go straight to the games, no problem, check the description below, and there you will find a timestamp that says take me to the games. Click on that and you will go straight to game number one. Now here we are going to continue with the deck, starting with my deck, Zombie Disco. And here we see the deck that I'm playing with today, Zombie Disco. And of course it's called Zombie Disco because I'm playing with the Zombie Master, 4 Zombie Masters. I'm also playing with Cave Zombies, as you can see in this deck. And the deck is mainly revised, and actually you see a picture of the Headless Horseman. I really love that art, but of course that's also a Cave Zombie. So it's actually a complete revised brew. And the idea of this deck is simple. Zombie Master is going to give all my zombies regenerate, and then I have a nice Nevinyrral Disc that I'm going to explode. Everything gets destroyed, but the zombies, they're still alive because they have regeneration. Now in this strategy, Will-O-the-Wisp, of course, is a great addition because it also has regeneration and works really good with those 3 Bat Moons you see on the bottom of your screen. Now some other cards, I have a Nightmare in this deck as a finisher, so if I need to finish it. And another sub-theme in this deck is Swamp Walk, so you can see that I'm playing with 4 Evil Presence. Zombie Master, of course, gives all my zombies regeneration and Swamp Walk, and I'm also playing with 2 Bografs, and they also have Swamp Walk. So Swamp Walk is another big thing in this deck. Another little strategy in this deck is the Animate Dead that you see there. I'm playing with 2 Animate Deads, and of course after a nice Nevinyrral disc, hopefully I can find a nice juicy big creature in the graveyard of my opponent. So it is a pretty straightforward deck, but I mean, don't underestimate it. It's got some strong strategies, and of course Nevinyrral Disc is just one of the better cards. And because it's all revised, this deck is very budget and very affordable. So if you like it, hey man, take another look at this picture. It's easy to assemble. So this is my brew. Now let's take a look at the deck of Elmar. And here we see not a deck picture. Unfortunately, I don't have a deck picture of Elmar's deck, but we do see some key cards in his deck. He's playing with an Erhnam Djinn deck. Now, the idea behind his deck, it's quite straightforward. So he wants to play Llanowar Elves, ramp into an Erhnam Djinn, and the other creatures are also pretty powerful. For example, Curd Ape, 1 red to cast. If there's a forest, it becomes a 2/3. Again, a strong creature. Now, we are playing with budget decks. That means there will be no dual lands in these matchups. So we're not going to see Taiga into Curd Ape, which of course is a classic beautiful move. We're not going to see that. Despite that, I still think Curd Ape is a very strong creature. And of course, what Burnham wants to do is play a lot of smaller, aggressive creatures, get a lot of damage in early, and finish it off by direct damage, Fireball, Lightning Bolt. Maybe there's even a Hurricane in here since he's not playing with a lot of flyers, I believe. So that is the strategy of Elmar. Again, very budget-friendly brew because a copy of Erhnam Djinn from Chronicles is what, 5 cents? So it's very cheap, it's very easy to assemble. And in all fairness, small creatures, like low casting cost creatures in combination with direct damage, that is just always strong. And I wonder if Elmar is going to play with City of Brass, because we know that, okay, a dual land is way too expensive to keep to the $200 budget, but a City of Brass, that is possible. So I'm curious to see if Elmar is playing with those cities from, for example, Chronicles as well. We'll see. We'll have to see. So without further ado, let's go to game one and let's see how this is going to end up. We're going to see zombies versus Erhnams. Game number one, and I'm sitting on the left with my zombie disco deck, and look at that start here from Elmar. A quick Curd Ape, Still a 1/1 because of the mountain. Dark Ritual. Wow. Zombie Master. This is what I want to do. Get that Zombie Master out as quickly as possible. Who needs a hippie when you can cast a Zombie Master? And now I'm passing turn here. Let's see if Elmar has a Lightning Bolt, because that could mean a nice 2-for-1 for Elmar. It's always risky, especially when playing against direct damage. Or white, of course. There's a Forest. Curdape turning, and there we see a Chain Lightning. Curdape turning into a 2-3 here, dealing 2 damage. I'm dropping to 18. And playing another Swamp, and oh, a double Evil Presence. So turning both of his lands into basic Swamp. So hopefully this can kind of slow Elmar down a little bit. And that Curdape at least goes back to a 1/1 since he doesn't own a Forest anymore. It is now a Swamp. So a 1/1 Curdape. Let's see. Hopefully he cannot find another basic Forest. There's a mountain attacking. No, not attacking. Okay, playing a Forest instead, of course, for the bonus. So I'm going to go down to 16 passing turn. So he's doing nothing this turn. That's good news for me. Playing a Swamp, but I'm also not doing anything else. Just passing turn here. And it looks like Elmar has enough mana to kind of come back from the double Evil Presence. Ooh, an Elvish Hunter. I like this 2/1 first strike for 2. There's a Nevinyrral's Disc. And I'm probably forced to use it. He can do 4 damage first, drop to 10. Maybe he has a Shatter to take care of that Nevinyrral's Disc. Just have to wait and see here. Attacking for 4 first. Gonna drop to 10 here. And what is he going to do? He must be getting pretty light on cards as well. There is a Hurricane. Pretty devastating for me because I'm on such a low life total. So now I'm on only 6. Playing Swamp number 5. Probably not going to use the disc yet. First going to give him a turn, then use it when he attacks. That's exactly what I'm doing here. And this is a bit of a downside in this deck. Evil Presence and Nevinyrral's Disc is not the best combination. But I'm playing with both of these strategies, and Swamp Walk strategy and Nevinyrral's Disc regeneration strategy. Ooh, and there's an Erhnam Djinn. Bad news for me here. Oh, yes! This is what you want to see. Nightmare, and it's now a 6/6 flyer. So this is great. Now I can block the Erhnam. Let's hope that my opponent doesn't have anything to counter it by. That sticker means it has Forest Walk, by the way. And there's a Hurricane for 4, so I'm going to drop to... Okay, Hurricane for 3, going to drop to 3, and there's a Lightning Bolt. End of the line for me here. And you can see the power of direct damage. Some early combat damage by Elmar was enough to finish me off with some targeted direct damage here. So we are going to take a look at our sideboards, and then we'll catch back up to you in game number 2. Game number 2. So after sideboarding, let's see if I stand a chance here. Started with a basic Swamp passing turn. And perhaps it wasn't the best idea to use my Dark Ritual for that 1-drop. But, I mean, if you can play a Zombie Master turn 1, you've got to do it, right? Anyway, let's look at the situation in game number 2. We see a Bad Moon here, turn 2 for me. That's a pretty good start. And no 1-drop for Elmar. That's good news for me because I believe he's playing with a lot of 1-drops. It looks like he cannot find any green mana here, casting a Chain Lightning on me. Dropping down to 17, playing a Zombie Master turn 3, and it's now a 2/4. That means it's safe from Lightning Bolts and Chain Lightnings because of that Bad Moon. And that is really nice. So it's going to be hard for Elmar to get rid of the Zombie Master. There is a Regrowth on the Chain Lightning and a pass turn. So that means I can probably hit him here for... Oh, there's another Zombie Master. Now this is interesting. It means they give each other regeneration. I'm attacking now with one of them for 3, so that means Elmar's going to drop to 17. And this is really important because my opponent Elmar wants to kill my creatures with direct damage, and when they have regeneration, that's no longer possible. Now, of course, I only have 1 Swamp open, but that's probably enough. Let's say he has the Chain Lightning still in hand and maybe a Bolt as well, then he can deal 6 damage to one of my Zombie Masters, but I still have that Swamp open, so he's not doing that, of course. And now I'm attacking him for 6 here, going to drop to 11, and things are getting interesting. And if I can find an Evil Presence, then these Zombie Masters are unblockable as well. Look at that, Scathe Zombies, 2/2 vanilla powerhouse. And it's now a 2/2 Swamp Walk regeneration as well. And there we see the elf, the 2/1 first striker. That doesn't really matter much because of the Bad Moon, because of course my Scave Zombies is now a 3/3, so I can attack with my entire army, and he probably will have to use the Elfish Archer here to block. What is he going to do here? 3/3 and 2 3/4s attacking with a lonely Elfish Archer on the battlefield. So that probably, if he lets it all through, he's almost dead, isn't he? Wow, he's going to drop to 2. There is a Will-O-the-Wisp. I think this is going to be impossible for Elmar here. He needs at least one more blocker. If he has one more blocker, he can survive. It's going to be interesting. If he can find a Curd Ape, he is on 2, and my Will-O-the-Wisp, there's a Chain Lightning on my life total, going to drop to 14 here. But that's not going to do it for Elmar. Looking at his hand, he's pretty much in the tank here. And playing a Terror here on the Elf on end step. And that's it. That means this is game number 2 for me here. So that means 1-1. And we are going to a decisive game number 3. Game number 3, the big decider. It's 1-1. And hey, another Curd Ape. If you're a fan of Curd Apes, this is a pretty good match for you. We've seen Curd Apes in game 1, and now we see it in game 2. Not too shabby. And there's a Forest. Wow. Good start from Elmar here. 2 damage here, dropping to 18. Just playing a basic Swamp passing turn. Hopefully I can start playing out something soon. Probably going to drop to 16 exactly. And let's see if Elmar can play out another threat. Doesn't look like it. Playing Swamp number 3, casting a Zombie Master. A lot of Zombie Masters too in this matchup. Not that surprising since I play with a full playset. And there's a nice Disintegrate here. And of course the power of Disintegrate as well is that you cannot regenerate. So it's extra handy against my regeneration zombies. Although the Zombie Master didn't have regeneration yet. Unfortunately for me, I'm now playing my second Zombie Master, but it doesn't give each other regeneration since the first Zombie Master is already disintegrated. But still, it's a pretty solid blocker. 2/3, just like the Curd Ape. Curd Ape attacking here, blocking him. And are we going to see a Lightning Bolt? No, or else he would have played it probably. Okay, Chain Lightning. So I think it probably would have been better for Elmar to play that pre-combat and then attack with the Curd Ape. At least now I'm still on 14, so it's not too shabby for me. Let's see what I can do. A little bit low on lands, it seems. And what can I find? Playing another Zombie Master. Wow, Zombie Master number 3 here. It looks like all I'm drawing really are Zombie Masters. Which is pretty, well, it could be worse. At least it's a blocker. And I'm actually not blocking it now. Letting it go, dropping to 12. Probably afraid to find a Giant Growth. There is a Hurricane. So again, we see the strategy by Elmar playing very aggressively with the burn. Dropping to 8 here. And I think that's a good decision because that's basically what his deck wants to do. And playing an Animate Dead, finding another Zombie Master. So now they give each other regeneration. Of course, Animate Dead gives a -1, -0. So that means my Zombie Master is now 1/3. Not quite sure why I didn't attack with the Zombie Master here. Because there was an opening just to deal 2 damage. I still had my 1/3 Zombie Master as a blocker. So a little mistake here by me. And playing Escape Zombies, which is now a 2/2 regeneration. Because of the Zombie Master, and it has Swamp Walk, which is not relevant yet. But if I can find an Evil Presence, of course I'm on 8 against the burn deck, so that's not the best feeling in the world. But Elmar seems to be stuck with his Curd Ape. The one lonely Curd Ape. There is a Bad Moon. This is really good news because now Escape Zombie becomes a 3/3 and I'm attacking with it. And there is a Giant Growth. I can simply regenerate my Escape Zombies. In all honesty, I think I should have attacked with the other Zombie Master too, but I'm just being very, very cautious. There we see the Elfish Archer And it looks like I want to tap all my mana, but I'm not quite sure if I want to do that, because if I tap them, I can no longer regenerate and protect my army of zombies from burn. And there is a drain life. Interesting, playing it on the Curd Ape. That means I'm gaining 3 life as well, going up to 11. Attacking him now with the Scave Zombies, and he's chump blocking it. Finding another Elvish Archer. Really nice to see Elmar playing with this beautiful creature, by the way. I believe I called it Elvish Hunter in the first game, but that's of course the card from the Fallen Empire expansion. And now there's the Evil Presence, and that means since all my creatures have Swamp Walk, I can start dealing some serious damage. Remember, I have a Bad Moon as well. There's a Will-o'-the-Wisp also. So I'm dealing 8 damage. We see Elmar dropping down to just 8 life now. Am I actually going to win this next turn? I think I can kill him if he doesn't kill one of my creatures instead, which is really difficult because of my regeneration. And remember, they are unblockable because of Swamp Walk, but my Will-o'-the-Wisp is also unblockable because of flying. So it looks like I'm going to win this one. Attacking here. And 3 damage, 6 damage, 8 damage, plus 2 from, or 1 from the Willow is 9 damage in total. And that's it. That's game. Bam! The Swamp Walking Zombies have done it again. I just love this idea of casting Evil Presence on like a beautiful forest, and that whole forest changes. I casted it on the mountain, but still it changes into this rotten place where zombies dwell. You know, you're like, what is this? You know, you're a wizard of nature, and all of a sudden you've got this stinky swamp full of zombies. You're like, what's going on? It just happened, Elmar. I'm really sorry, but I'm winning this one 2-1. Really nice to play against you. Nice to see those beautiful Elfish Archers. It's actually almost always fun to play against Elmar. Elmar is one of my patrons, by the way. And if you also want to support the channel, you can also become a patron, and you can join tournaments like this one, like this Lord of the Jank, because I'm actually organizing tons of competitions, tournaments, and other stuff on my Patreon. So you can click on the link that's appearing right now and visit Timmy on Patreon and check out how you can become a patron of Timmy Talks. If you want to, of course, and you can already support the show starting with $1 a month. What else is there to say? I want to thank you for watching another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And before we go out, we are first going to go to the end scroll and look at the beautiful, fantastic, amazing patrons of Timmy Talks.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, putting in the longboat until he's sober, early in the morning. Way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. Pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, early in the morning. Way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises, way hey, and up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scout to the hook, my son, he'll put him in the scout to the hook, my son, he'll put him in the scout to the hook, my son, he'll early in the morning.
Icketus, ficketus, sumba, kazee.